Hey guys, welcome to the Milkman Podcast. We're your guys' hosts. I'm Steven.
Beto.
And I'm Raymond.
Welcome guys. This is going to be our first post on this podcast that we started. We've been talking about this now for maybe a year, and we finally got our stuff together, and now we are trying to see what we get out of this. But this is our first run, and if we don't post after this,
We don't post after this. Is a miserable film.
Yeah.
Now we're just trying to figure out where
Yeah,
this
for
is gonna
sure.
go.
Let's just go with the flow.
This is the boys hanging out.
Yeah,
If
for
this
sure.
works, this works, and if not,
this is
then-
our midlife crisis
Yeah, this is our midlife
choice.
crisis.
This is our first one. The second one comes in at 50. But this is just something that we wanted to do for a while. We wanted to create something just to look back at and have fun with. I think we have a pretty good dynamic here. We have different backgrounds, even though we've all been super close for years now. Beto's like a brother to us, and I have my twin brother as well. And so, although we're all very similar and we have similar tastes on things, we all have a different perspective on stuff. And I think it's a good thing because we have different opinions, and I think that's what separates us really from each other. But I couldn't ask for anybody else to do this with, and I think it's definitely a experience that is going to be great, and which I hope, and that we're still friends after this, and
Yeah, let's go.
we're still alive, and
Let's
we
get
don't
it.
get in trouble. But I wanted to start off because I wanted to ask the guys real quick. So I've had horrible jobs. I've jumped from job to job. Like my job history, it's like bouncy, right? But one, it was either trying to meet like ends meet, but others was like I just accepted the job because the money was good. But they've always said not all money is great money,
That is-
right? And so, what is your guys' worst jobs? I know me and Raymond have had a couple jobs together. We've probably worked. Let's just say out of 20 jobs,
I think we've
and him
done
have
like 8 or
worked-
9 or 10 jobs.
No, we
together.
probably worked more than that. I think we've done.
Well, I
at least,
mean,
like-
here's the thing. So I've had with the current job I'm at right now. I'm at job 15.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
job 15.
So, really quick before we get into that, like, if you've had 15 jobs, how many have you got?
It's probably like almost the same.
Yeah, 15 jobs.
15?
15 jobs is crazy from the age of 16, bro.
So, were
10
these
years,
jobs
bro.
a problem, or were you guys a problem?
Both.
Hey,
bro.
'cause, hey, I understand, like, 5 or 6, but 15 is up
15
there.
is a
It
lot.
used to be
I
cool
don't know.
though because
I don't even
our-
know what
our-
the average is.
No, yeah, like it's not. That's not okay, right? But
Yeah, that's-
I think what it was is that we didn't know either, like how that could affect you in the future of
Yeah,
having so
right.
many jobs.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, like we were just going where the money was at, and I think that was our mistake, is that we always just chased the money.
Well, that was the problem. The money always ran out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, right? So part of my seasonal jobs, it wasn't that I was like, oh, screw this place, What it was like I was always like, oh damn, I just got that $300 check, but what if it's 400, 500, right? So what I would do is like, especially working retail, that was the biggest part where I collected most of my jobs, right? I had one solid job for like 2 years, which was Calvin Klein, right? One solid job for like 2 years, which was Calvin Klein, but I was a cashier, so they cut my hours down to 5 hours a week, right? And I was used to 15, 20 maybe, right? And I was at $200, $300
Yeah.
check. So what would I have to do? I'd have to go pick up other jobs, right? I'd have to go work at other jobs. So what I would do is like in the morning, I'd be at job A from like 8 to like 1, and then job B from like 2 to 6, and job C from like 6 to closing. So that's what I would do. But what happened is like I'd pick up like 5 jobs in one hit. And each one of these jobs would only give me 5 or 6 hours because it's all seasonal, Like there's certain times in the year where it was slow. That's what the reality of it is. And sure enough, dude, like at the job I'm at currently, the profession I hold currently, I had to explain every job. They're like, so what happened with this job? Why'd you leave this job? I'm like, the money wasn't there, right? And that's the reality of it, right?
It wasn't
The money wasn't there. That's the reality of it, right? But it wasn't because I wanted to have so many jobs. It doesn't look good, bro. I had to explain 14 jobs.
Hey, it fed my pocket, but not my soul.
There you go. But that's the thing, right? So it was like, that's what ended up happening. And don't get me wrong, what I will say, man, from all those jobs, definitely getting a lot of experience, right? You learn, you take a little bit from everything, and that's who makes you who you are now. And I mean, it definitely helps, in my everyday,
Yeah.
especially with my job now.
Yeah.
Like it helps me every
And
day.
it was mostly just chasing money because
Yeah.
we always like, dude, my first job was McDonald's, bro. I was a McDonald's drive-through, and I was like, junior year, like 16. I thought I was
Yeah.
balling, bro. $200-$300 checks.
We
I
blow
was
that in a
fucking
fucking one day.
baller.
Hey, were you guys hooking people up? I remember
Yes,
I worked
dude.
at
I used to have
McDonald's.
people come in through the drive-thru. I recognize them. I'd give them like 30 nuggets, 10 hot and spicies, 2 large drinks. Like, all right, bro, that's $2.
Yeah.
I used to be like that.
Yeah.
But
I used to go through too.
He used to
And
come
when I
through.
didn't have money, bro. I'd be like, "Hey, you at work?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm working at the drive-thru." I come straight through, bro. Hand him $1.
Yeah,
And
I
I
charge
get
it
a
for
full
like a drink and
And
give
I
him
get a
whole
full meal, bro. I'd get a
Yeah.
full meal, dude.
But I remember those checks. Like one of my biggest checks at McDonald's was like $300. Tell me why I tell this dude. We had just got a car that my mom bought us. My check was $300. I was like, bro, let's go to California.
We went.
I thought
bro.
I was balling, dude.
Imagine going to California for
$300.
$300.
$300, bro.
And half of that already goes to gas.
Half goes of gas, bro. So we took a trip out to Cali.
Yeah.
My mom had no idea.
were
We,
16
lied to my
yeah,
mom.
we were 16 years
Yeah,
old,
we
though.
lied to my mom saying that we were going to a basketball tournament all day. So we went to Cali, had an entire adventure. On the way back home, we were swapping, driving.
Because we've
every,
never
like-
driven that long.
Yeah,
bro.
we've never had that stamina.
And at the time, bro, I'm the only one that had a license.
Yeah.
So
And
he
so,
would just take it.
so we were
Well,
swapping
you guys
like
can
every
fucking
hour.
share a license, huh?
Yeah, we shared a license.
Yeah, we shared
for
a
years.
license, so we were until I was 19.
Until he was 19. Finally, like I told him, like, I'm done with this, right?
Because I had a dream. I had a dream, bro, that I was on a city bus. It got pulled over. A bunch of cops came on. And they're like, whoever doesn't have a license is going to jail. Bro, the next day I went to go take my fucking driving test.
And the same day he got his license, like he took the written, and then like I asked out why he was taking the written. I like talked to the clerks. I'm like, you guys have any like standby like driver's tests? Like, yeah, one just opened up. So within 2 hours, this man waited 3 years. Within 2 hours, got his license.
Yeah. But it worked because we were twins,
Yeah.
you know? But so came back from Cali. My mom didn't know.
She didn't know for a year. For a
She
while.
didn't know though for a long time.
And then what happened? You know, we got caught. The next time we went out to California, I was driving because I had my license. She was like, "How do you know where to go?" Yeah,
That's how we
Fucking
got
Google
caught.
Maps.
bro.
That's how we got
She was like,
caught.
how do you know which way? You know, this and that.
But I think I honestly would have to say like our worst job. Like I worked McDonald's. I worked a couple fast food. I did a lot of retail.
Yeah.
The worst job that we had, I think me and Raymond were like 19, bro. So we go through. We're struggling trying to find like a decent job. So we get hired on as like temp workers.
It was a temp agency.
It's a temp agency.
We were
We're
down
like-
bad, bro. To go to a temp agency, you got to be down
Yeah.
bad.
So we went to this. So in Nevada, well here in Vegas, they did a experiment where they were gonna grow vegetation
Just with
inside of a
water.
warehouse. They were growing vegetation inside of a warehouse.
Yeah.
And tell me why the generator turns off, kills everything in there. So they had to hire a massive team to go in there, clean out everything. I mean, like they had trays, bro, where they had to be scrubbed down and then sanitized.
with Clorox, all that.
Everything. So once we get there, they're giving us like the whole spiel. They put me and Raymond as team leaders and this and that. And keep in mind, like, bro, we were 19. Like, we had no
Yeah.
business being team leaders, right? There was dudes that were like 30, 40 years old with us. And so they're like, all right, before we go in here, we need you guys to suit up. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, you know? And they're like, once you guys get in there, you guys will be suited. You guys can get pressure washers. They tell us, bro, you're going to get pressure washers and you're just going to go on the walls like this. I was like, I'm fucking down.
This is
Like,
easy money.
Easy
yeah.
money, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, easy.
hazmat
So,
suit and everything.
We get in our hazmat suits, bro. It looks like the peak of coronavirus. Like,
Yeah.
we're in there with hazmat and everything. We go in there. As we're walking in, they're starting to hand out equipment. They had me a squeegee and they had Raymond the mom.
bro, they bamboozled
Oh,
us.
you guys are the ones fucking.
Yeah, after they sprayed the
Squeegee in
wall.
the
After
water.
they spray the walls.
Me and Steven, so hey, hold on. So we walk in, we're like, no way, dude. And even with the gas, like the suits and everything and the mask on, you could still smell the heavy bleach.
Yeah, because
Luckily, we didn't get the little toothbrushes to be cleaning out the little containers.
What was this place?
It was like it was just a farm inside of a warehouse.
It was like
So
a bio company.
It was a
that
bio
trying,
company
yeah.
doing an experiment that can you grow vegetation
Yeah.
inside of a warehouse.
Dude, but here's the funniest part, right? So like, me and
So we-
Steven are looking at each other for a while. We're like, dude, what are we doing here, bro? It got to the point where it was the same puddle of water, and he'd squeegee it to me, and I'd mop it right back to him over the same drain,
Dude,
bro.
for
like,
4 hours.
For 4 hours.
For
really.
4 hours.
I kid you not. We're like this. Right, back and forth, dude. And then we kind of knew it. We were looking at each other like, what are we doing?
And then so some of the other people that got hired as a temp thing, they're all looking at each other too. They literally got little brushes, like scraping the fucking trays, right? They're scraping the trays out. They got little brushes, and everyone's like, dude, they told us we were getting like
pressure washers.
pressure washers to wash down the walls and everything. dude, why are we doing like we were doing like the
'cause
grunt work,
It's because we
literally.
were the temp agency, bro.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
actual, the
How
actual
much were they even
employees-
paying you guys?
like $10
$10 an hour, bro.
$10 an hour. And
So
then
for
we-
$10 an hour, bro, they got this.
So we're in there, and me and Rimmer are just 4 hours right back and forth. And then they start calling lunch. But here's the thing: once you're going back out to lunch, you have to get out of the hazmat suit. You have to get out of the hazmat suit, get out of those like rain boot looking things, and then you went to lunch. But then when you came back, you had to go back into, and that was the same process the whole time. So if you wanted to go to the bathroom, you had to get a whole new suit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the super expensive suit. It was like
It's like paper.
it was like paper suits, yeah. And so you'd have to go to that, and I told Raymond, I was like, we went to lunch,
Yeah.
and they were giving us free lunch, bro. Like a little food truck came by to like support, like, oh, thanks for coming to help us out. Me and Raymond loaded up on that food cart. We ate, we looked at each other, and we were like,
And you
bro,
quit?
let's just
Yeah,
go.
right
Let's
there.
just leave.
We didn't give no notification. Nobody,
Nothing, bro. We just left. We left.
No, after lunch you left?
After
Yeah.
lunch, we left. We ate.
No notification, bro.
Nothing.
Did you guys get paid for your 4 hours or whatever?
Did we ever? I don't think we ever.
I don't
did.
think we ever got a check. We had to go get the check. And we were
I
too
don't even-
ashamed to go get it.
Bro, I think it was like $40.
Yeah, I think it was like 40 bucks. No, after tax, dude, it's probably like 28
$20,
bucks.
yeah.
30 bucks. Yeah.
Was it
You
worth
just
it?
called it even with the food or what?
Here's our food tag.
Hey, you know what? We were so down bad, bro. We were just there for the lunch.
Fuck, bro.
What about you, bro?
That's crazy. Me, I think my worst job that I ever had is probably working at Olive Garden. So I remember I was like, you know what?
Why did you choose Olive Garden?
Because my mom knew the manager. She was like a high school friend with him, and he was like the branch manager or whatever. And then people at Olive Garden actually make good money, you know, like the hostess and the
Yeah,
waiters.
yeah.
So you
It's a
thought you
tip
were
job.
going there making hella bread, huh?
Yeah, it's a tip job. So then I remember like interviewing and everything, and he's like, "We have a couple jobs open. You know, you can be a busser, which you help
Yeah.
the waitress, and I think the busser was only getting like $7 or $8, you know. And then he's like, or there's a dishwashing job, you get $14.50. I was like, damn, $14.50, like
That
that's
sounds crazy.
back in the day. I was like,
yeah.
fat, you know.
I can go get a new car.
I don't even know what
house.
minimum. I think minimum wage was like still $6-7
It was,
back
yeah,
then.
it was low.
It's
It
like-
was like
So that
probably
dishwasher
like-
job, I was like, damn. I was like, fuck it, you know, like $14 an hour, I'm gonna be balling. So whatever, kind of show up to the job first day. Same thing. They have you put like this little apron on because you get wet from moving all the dishes.
Yeah.
So I put the apron on. Those two guys back there, they're all tatted. You can tell like I was talking to them like they just had gotten out of jail and shit. And one of them didn't really know English, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Was the
you know?
youngest kid back there, and everyone else.
I know. I look. I felt
Like, hey, they got more time in jail than you being alive, bro.
honestly, bro. So right away, the manager tells him, "Oh, show him what to do." And that guy was like, he was kind of bothered. Like I can tell, like he didn't want to teach me like what to do or nothing. And he was like, "Oh, just grab the dishes and put them over here." So they had like this big ass machine, and then you would put like the dishes on this tray, and then you would push it through that tray through the machine, and it was like stupid hot. So then all the shit would fall off. But at Olive Garden, they do like a lot of pasta and lasagna and shit like that. So that shit sticks to the bins. So you put it once, it wouldn't come off. So you're fucking right there. I was right there scraping it, fucking trying to take that shit off. Put it through again, like 3-4 times, right? So the people in the kitchen were like, hey, hurry up. We need more silverware or plates or whatever. So we're right there rushing. And I remember at Olive Garden, they have those little soup bowls. And they just had gotten a whole new like stack of brand new ones, right? And the guy's like, hey, don't fucking break any of the dishes because we just got these, you know?
This dude dropped
Right.
gold.
So luckily I didn't touch them.
Okay.
Right? The guy puts them on the counter, and then when one of the Mexican dudes goes up and picks it up, the whole fucking stack falls over, bro.
No.
Boom, all over the floor, and the manager comes back. What the heck? He's like, we're not gonna have enough plates. Come on, start washing these, whatever. So I did that for like 2 weeks, but afterwards, you know, when you close down the kitchen, you have to leave everything perfect. You have to squeegee all the water into the drains. I'm like, damn, this sucks. I'm leaving all smelly, you know, full of like food and wet. And then I remember I was going to college, so I got like financial aid,
Yeah.
and I only got like $2 or $3 grand, I think, or something like that a semester. But so I got a notification from financial aid saying, hey, we saw that you now have a job, so we're gonna cut out your financial aid. So I was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm quitting. Why am I gonna bust my ass? And at the end of the day, it's gonna be, you know, more expensive for me or whatever. And honestly, I just didn't fucking like that job. So I did it for like a month, and I was like, you know what, hey,
How
I'm
old were
sorry, I
you?
have to go. I was like a freshman in college.
So,
So
18,
what is
Your
that?
19?
first job?
No, my first job was at Abercrombie. My first real job.
Wait. They had you walking around in sandals and jeans?
No.
Honestly, bro.
No way.
And I've never worn sandals like that before. I remember my manager at Abercrombie, she's like, "Oh, can you wear sandals or whatever?" I'm like,
This dude had the dogs out.
and back in the day, I didn't even know what sandals were. We used to call them fucking chanclas, you know?
Yeah.
I said, "You want me to wear chanclas?" And she's like, "Yeah, wear them." I was like, I don't know. I just felt like,
Hey, he didn't bring like a normal pair of chanclas, bro. It was probably your
What the-
dad's chanclas. It was probably
What are
the
they called?
Jesus walks forward.
I don't know, bro, but like I never like walk around with my toes out, you know? I kind of felt exposed. For real. I felt horrible. Like fucking just having my toes out, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Was that like a daily thing though? Like you had to wear sandals every day?
They wanted me to. And she wanted me to stand in the front. I was like an Abercrombie model. That's what they call it. Stand in the front and just greet people.
Damn, bro. You
But it
made
was better.
for Abercrombie.
No, it was better than folding the clothes and shit, you know what I mean?
That's true.
That's true.
So.
That's true. When we used to work at Calvin Klein, dude, we used to have to
Folding clothes.
But that was
clothes.
seasonal, so I only did that for like the summer.
Yeah. No, when we worked at Calvin Klein, it was we always wear clothing. They always made all the teenagers wear clothing.
Yeah, the teenagers. I mean,
Sucked,
it's
though.
seniority too, though.
Yeah.
Which I understood, but it actually kind of worked out because we
Yeah.
were still in high school.
It's
right?
high school, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like,
So
you
we
know,
go. You get out at 1 o'clock from high school.
or we got going like at 5 or
So
something,
going
5
like at
o'clock.
5
Yeah.
just to close. But we used to have to fold, and then we wouldn't leave. Like we weren't not allowed to leave until our entire area
Was
like
clear.
cleared,
And even
folded
then,
and
like, you
nice.
weren't allowed to leave when your area was clear. You had to go help another
Oh,
area.
yeah, you had to.
Right? So when I was cashier, like, you were denim, right?
Yeah.
So, like, our area would be done quick because we closed all the registers early. There was 10 registers,
Yeah.
right? So we closed it all the way down to one
So like
register.
2 or 1. by
Yeah,
the end of the night.
usually one register, and then I'd be the minute we close the doors, like, I'm gone because now the managers come collect all the cash and stuff. So I'd go help out whoever needed help, bro. But yeah, dude, folding clothes, like, especially here's the problem: we can't kick people out. So when these families and a lot of the tourists, right, they'd come in with whole families, 10 deep, right, come in with 10 deep, and they're all just grabbing the bottom out of everything, right? They'd grab the bottom shirt, the bottom jeans, and the whole stack would fall over. And we can't do nothing but stare at them. So they'd be getting mad dog from like the...
You're
from
like,
the-
really?
Yeah,
Wow.
like we'd be staring at them like...
Like you work like 30 minutes to fold that entire table so
And they
nicely.
come and mess it up.
Well,
They'd
right?
mess it with
right,
one.
and what would happen is that when I started working a certain area too, because I moved out of cashier.
Oh, you went
they
to
weren't-
like sports.
I went to sports goods, sporting or whatever. But the reason why is because they weren't giving us enough hours at the cashiers. We had like
Yeah.
30 cashiers. And so I'm like, hey, could I transfer out of this area? Like, I'm not getting enough hours. This is when I kept on getting other jobs. And so, as somebody who's closing an entire area, you'd start early. If we closed at 9, you started cleaning up your section by like 6 or 7. So that way, by like 9 o'clock, you're almost done.
Yeah.
But dude, it'd take that one
It would be
family,
hard
that one
because
foreign family to
come
From
come
in
in.
6 to 9, you were 3 hours of open still. You had to stay on top of what you've already cleaned, so nobody would destroy it. So when people start digging, you're like, "Hey, can I help you out with that?" Can I? And you would lift up the stack yourself, give them
Oh,
whatever
nice.
they
Yeah,
need,
yeah.
so that you don't mess up. You don't mess up 30 minutes of work that you just did. You don't mess it up.
Yeah.
You know, so I would say probably, but by far, I think the hazmat suit thing was for us. Was
The
ridiculous.
hazmat suit was pretty bad, but the worst job I think I had, right? Like that was pretty bad, but the worst job I think I had was was a valet job, right? So we're at a casino that's closed now. I don't want to give out the name for it, but over on the other side of town, and they're closed now due to the pandemic. They just couldn't recover, right? So they closed the doors. But I remember when I got hired, I'm like, damn, that's busy. I'm gonna make so much money, right? Because I worked at a different valet job. I didn't make anything there either. I only lasted there like a month. But I went to that job. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna be in a casino. I'm gonna make so much bread. This, tell me why? They bamboozled me. The first 2 weeks, they put me on swing shift, right? So in my head at the time, I'm like, damn, we all go home with $81 made today. Like that's crazy, and I still get a check. And it was all tip based job. First 2 weeks, dude, crazy busy. I'm like, this is it. Like I'm good. I'm set. Right now, I was just coming off of like financial hardship right here. Like I was rock bottom. So I was like $81 made in a day, and I got hours. And I'm like, this is daily. And then on the weekend, I made like 120. I was like, that's crazy, right? Good money. And this is before the pandemic. What happens? 2 weeks in, the guy comes back that I was filling in for because I was on call. So they start putting me on call. And the manager was straight up. He's like, hey man, like you're gonna be working graveyard, on call. And I was like, okay. I'm like, maybe like a Friday or Saturday night, probably still make some money, right? They put me Monday night on call. And then they did this to me for like, how long was I there? 3 months? 2 months? 3 months. I go in 1 day a week. I come in, dude. When I meant graveyard, even the parking lot was a graveyard. Like, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And Monday, too. That's probably the worst day, huh?
Night, bro. Monday night, right? Not a single car in the parking lot. And the thing is, the company was like, no phones, no laptops, no radios, no computers, nothing. You could read a book. So try to work in graveyard reading a book on a Monday night, knowing you don't get it.
You can go to sleep, man.
Now that I think about it, my absolute worst job, well, besides the one me and you had together. So I had a friend in middle school, bro. And he hits me up. He's like, "Hey man, like, he's like, hey man, I'm working for Pizza Spot." And I was like, "It's around the corner." He's like, "Yeah, but they're looking for a delivery driver. I can't work this week, but they need someone to just fill in, right?" So tell me why. I was like, tell me why. I was like, I'm down, you know.
Oh my god,
I'm down. And so, okay, we had a Chrysler 300. It's dope at first. I don't know what happened, bro, but randomly this car would turn off. Like, I'd be on the freeway, and the whole thing would turn off.
The car would just shut off, bro.
Dude, and
the steering wheel gets stiff and everything.
Stiff as shit, and I'm just like fighting it to get off the freeway. I'd have to go into a complete stop and then restart it. Right, so I was just trying, bro. This is bad. So I was trying to. So like I was like, all right, dude, I'll go fill in for you. So tell me why I go to this Pizza Spot. It was like a Russian lady. Right, she was running this, so I was like, all right, like, you know, whatever. And then there was a nice little American lady. So she's telling me the Americans, I couldn't really understand the Russian. So the American lady is telling me, like, giving me the rundown, like, hey, like, you know, when you go out, you know, this is the address. And then we didn't have the Google GPS at that time, right? Like, we didn't, unless you went home to go print off Quest, you know, you didn't have it. So we were going off the streets. So, like, it's going to be off the main street of this and this. And then you'd have to look for the little street to go in. So, tell me why. I was just around the neighborhood. Every delivery I did was $5. Okay? But it wasn't maybe a block or two away. It wasn't bad. And then whatever tips you got, you kept. I was like, cool. I'm just chilling here waiting for orders to come in. So, I get my first order. I go out. It took me a little bit to find the spot. Got it. Boom. Everything was done and came back. Do another one, go out, do it again. But so now I'm at I think I was like at $15. I was like within an hour. And then you get me, like, back then it was huge because minimum wage was still like $8. I was shit, 15 my first hour. I'm fucking solid, bro. So tell me why. Russian lady comes by and she's like, "Do you guys want to eat anything? Like, you know, like we can just make it real quick, whatever."
There goes your $15.
Bro, so
it's a common theme. You guys are just working for food. Is that the same thing as being homeless or no?
So disrespect us like that. you see how big we are? We had to make it by, all right?
So look, she starts making me wings. She's just making me wings, getting us. She's heating up me and the American lady pizza. Bro, so then I go out for another order, right? And it's already starting to get late.
How much charge you for the wings? 20? You were negative.
Bro, I'll tell you right now. So I go for the last order, right? Tell me why. You know how you're supposed to give a yellow receipt to the customer and the white one? So I completely forgot to take the yellow one back. So I get to deliver it, come back, and bro, the car turns off on the way back. Bro, and I was like, no way. So I had to literally push the car off to the side because we came to a complete stop. But it wasn't turning on. Sometimes it would not turn on if you restarted the car. I had to literally push the car off to like the shoulder area, turned it back on, went back to the thing, and she got all mad at me. She's like, "Where is the receipt? I told you to start going off on me." And I'm like, "Bro, like, you know, it's my bad. Like, I forgot. Can't you just print off another one? And you can just keep the receipt on that, you know?" Whatever. So I kind of like, I'm already feeling like some type of way because she like yelled at me over something so small, but I had never delivered before.
He's like, "Lady, I already ate. I'm about to quit."
But so tell me where we're getting cashed out, bro. I had made $32. I still remember this shit to this day. I made $32, bro. She hits me with, so you had 2 slices of pizza and wings. That's $17. She's like, I'm gonna take that out of your total for today. Bro, so what's 32 minus 17? I was left with like fucking like $13. right? And
Yeah.
then, what are the tips that you make? You have to split tips with her. She didn't
With
do
who?
nothing with the other American. I mean, she did cook, but she didn't go out there. Bro, tell me I had to split $13. I walked out of this pizza shop with $6.
How many hours did you work?
I did probably 7 hours a day.
And you walked-
I had to pay her to work. I had
Yeah.
to pay her to work.
Yeah.
So
She hustled you.
Well, that's the thing. So now that I think about it, $6, right? I walked out with less doing valet. I would go to this job. Be one car right there parked in front of it. The only car that came in. And it's an old timer. They already gave $1 on the way in. So I'd give, I'd come out all excited, like, yeah, I'm going to get tipped. Open the door for him and everything. I could damn near pick up the man and put him inside. He said, thanks, young man, and a pat on the back. He said, thanks, young man, and a pat on the back.
So I
You
would
should have
say
whispered in his ear.
I haven't eaten in days, please.
no. So that was probably my
Yeah.
worst job. I went home with $6.
So yeah, dude, like in my instance, I started realizing it was costing me more to go work because when you're a tip compliance job, they take that out of your pay, right? Out of your taxes, they tax you as tips. So it got to the point where I was paying my job to work, right? There'd be days I would go home with $0. There'd be days I go home with $2 or $5, and that was it, dude. So when I wouldn't see a single car when I got to work, what I would just do is I'd put up the sign real quick. Attendant would be right back, and we had a closet in the back where we'd put the carts at, right? We would put the carts there, and what I did is I just lined up the carts. Little by little, I'd start bringing a pillow and a blanket in my backpack. Bro, I'd knock out.
I remember that.
I'd knock out. I'd be dead asleep, bro. And the thing is that we had the locks on both sides, so nobody could get it. Not even security could get it. Right?
Yeah.
So I'd lock both sides, put up the sign.
Hey, you know
attendant
what's
would be
crazy?
back,
There's a common theme around here, right? So
So
you're working for food, and then you're sleeping in cars.
But dude,
bro.
That's probably the worst.
it's probably why we had 14 jobs. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Look at all the shitty jobs we had, bro.
That's crazy.
And we were just doing anything because, we didn't grow up with money.
Yeah,
So, we were just trying to make it by and at least, have something.
Just figure it out.
Just
Yeah, what
figure
is
it
that
out.
thing that's gonna pay me good and
And still have money
not
left
take
over.
advantage of
Yeah.
me? Yeah.
So,
we're in some broke moments, right?
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
And we've all been there, right? These jobs, they don't pay enough, and we're trying to figure it out. And so that leads to my question to you guys, right? What is the brokest moment you've ever had? Right?
Yeah.
I remember 2018, I was down bad, dude. Bad. I got laid off from work, relationship ended, had a really bad semester at UNLV. They told me I can't go to school. So I was counting on my financial aid, right? And a week before school starts, I'm like, damn, I don't have a job. At least my financial aid will come in and get that $2,000-3,000. It carried me over until I get another job. That never came through. So what happened is I get told from school, hey, you're not getting financial aid. Relationship was done, and I got laid off from work. So I was trying to figure things out, bro. I'm literally watching my savings, a little bit I had, deplete. And I remember at one point, I was negative $200 in my account. And I had 3 accounts where I had 2 checkings and 1 savings. And so I remember telling my brother, he was working. He lent me $200 to complete my car payment. And I'm on my way to Chase Bank to go deposit it and stuff, dude. Tell me why I deposited into the negative account. And
Also, just wiped clean.
my
With zero.
car payment was past due already. And I get in the car, start driving home and stuff, and I'm texting and driving, doing this, trying to figure it out. I'm like, all right, let me just send the payment, and I see that my savings is still at $300, $400, and I'm missing $200. And I see my checkings account is zeroed out. Bro, do you ever see in the movies when they start punching the steering wheel and screaming? Yeah. That was the moment, bro. So what happened, right? I'm trying to figure it out. I go home, dude. I walk into my room and everything had a price tag. So I walk into my room, I'm like, what can I sell right now to figure this out? Right? So sold an Xbox, sold an iPad, and I was selling everything for cheap because I was just trying to make things up. So I even felt like a crackhead, just selling whatever I could to get what I needed, And I had a date that night too. I canceled it. I probably shouldn't have been going on a date because I had no money. But anything, dude. I went to, and here's the worst part, bro. In my closet, I had a little jar of coins. And let me tell you, when you gotta go to the front of the Coinstar, the front of the grocery store, that's the sound. That's the sound of rock bottom. Bro. Every coin
People
hit
just walk in
clink,
and
clink,
it's
clink, 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 clink. That's the sound of rock bottom, bro.
Hey, and then they take a percentage on it.
They still take a percentage, and then they still ask me if I wanted to donate, bro. I'm the charity. It was bad, dude. It was bad, dude. I remember, and somebody recognized me right there at the Coinstar, bro. I did not want to talk to him. Like, I used to work with this person, and I asked me, like, "Hey, man, how you been? Like, don't you see how I've been?" And I had to do that, and God, man, I was at the Coinstar. I went to the pawn shop, sold some stuff, made up to $200, but then same problem, right? Car payment was coming up again because it was past due already. And this is when we started those temp jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure it out. I did, and it was like, I remember I literally had to cancel a temp job because I had no gas money. I had no way to get to work. And I hadn't got paid from the temp job yet. They were late on the check. And that's what
Because we had to go pick up the checks.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even have gas to go pick up the checks.
Yeah, like no gas money to go pick them up. And it was a while, it was a distance, so I wasn't gonna walk. It's 120 degrees out. So I remember that was the worst moment I had was at that Coinstar machine. That was like, dude, you will never forget the sound of coins clicking off the metal.
And then the ones that they deny.
Yeah, the ones that they deny, you keep trying to recycle them, hoping they can accept them. And then they still take the percentage at the end of that transaction.
Like during that temp time was like when a little bit after that is when I fell in my hardship. And I think that hardship, everyone has to go through at least once so you understand how important
You get
finances
humbled.
are.
You get humbled
very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? And then you learn the value of $1 so fast. So for me, after the temp job, we got hired at Chevy, bro. So we got hired at Chevy, and that's when we started learning all our technicians. Dude, we went in there as a twin interview.
Yeah.
We both got hired on the spot.
Yeah.
And the manager, the foreman, was fucking amazing.
But dude, they asked us too. They're like, "Have you guys ever changed oil?" I'm like, "No."
Have you guys ever turned a wrench? We're like, "Nope."
Nope.
No. I went in there for a valet job, and they're like, "No, we need lube techs." They're like, "Have you guys ever changed oil?" I'm like, "No." They're like, "Do you guys know what these tools are?" We're like, "No." You're hired.
Yeah, I shit you not, because they were short guys.
Yeah.
So, but throughout that job, I learned a lot of things. The only thing is, it was paying $15, which is the highest we had ever got paid.
Right.
And for us, it was like amazing. But the thing is, we were so down bad before that. All of our work was just catching up. Like I used to get paid, my check was gone before I even got it. It was just playing catch up for months, bro. And it got so bad. Like for me, like probably my down bad moment is that when these cars would come in, and God forbid me on this, but I would take quarters, like I would take 1 or 2 quarters from every car, bro. And I would have to like save up, and nobody knows this, so don't judge me. We all got our
we all
have our
everybody
moments.
went through it at some
Don't
point.
judge me, but we all went through our moments, and for me, that was like my brother didn't even know this. My brother didn't know this. My mom didn't know
Well,
this.
that's the thing is that I started working valet at Santa Fe.
Yeah.
So it's like I had a little bit of extra cash. I'd still have my full check from Chevy, but I was on call at Santa Fe, so I'd have a little bit of money. I'd have maybe $100 or $200 left over for the week, so it was my gas and my food.
So for me, it got bad, dude. Like nobody knew what I was going through, but it got to the point where I was literally taking a couple quarters from every car that I worked on throughout the day, hoping that I made $5. Bro, imagine trying to just make a $5 minimum a day to either one, go across the street into McDonald's and go buy myself a hot and spicy.
You notice the trend?
The trend is crazy. Honestly, like, I think if you guys would just accept it, like, yo, you know what, I'm homeless, you would make more money just standing on the corner.
Desperate dudes. Bro, so, and then struggling and committing crime.
Hey, I've never seen twin homelesses. Hey, you guys would have been the next big hit.
So tell me why. So like, I would make the $5, but sometimes it was real bad.
Yeah.
It was either gas or food. And back then, like, gas was like at what, $2.50?
Something,
So something. So I was like, cool. If I can make $5,
it was the same gas station that had in McDonald's.
yeah, it was. It was a tap.
Hey, he'd be in the
I would be
inside.
outside, be like, fuck, do I get gas or do I get food? Bro, it was down bad to the point where I would have to literally save money with the quarters I would collect. Either go get gas or go get food. It was that bad, and I suffered like that for months, bro. for months, but nobody knew because my $800-900 check every 2 weeks was just to cover bills and play catch up. Like at that time, I misused my credit cards. Like it was a complete financial learning lesson for me. But now that I look back at it, like I laugh about it, and I know I don't ever want to put myself in that situation ever again. And I'm more financially smarter. But dude, it was so bad to the point where I literally would have to, and I didn't want to bother my mom, because my mom wasn't making a whole lot either. Raymond was barely making more than I was, but he was good. But he had another job. I couldn't get another job that would. How Raymond got his was on call. I even tried.
You know how I got that was when I was at the casino that closed. Santa Fe was probably one of the best jobs I've ever held. Right, management was great. My coworkers were great. It helped me get out of the hole that I was in. But what happened was when that other casino closed down, I'd go cash my checks at Santa Fe because it was near the house. And I pulled in the valet. I'm like, yeah, I'm valet too and stuff. They're like, oh, really? We're hiring. That's how I got the job. I went inside, cashed my check, came back, talked to the manager. She's like, where are you now? I'm like, I'm at this casino. And she gave me the interview. One of the best bosses I've ever had. Like, I'd do anything for that woman. She would be like, hey, I need you here. I was there, right? She said, hey, could you come in?
She's the one that showed up to your graduation?
Yeah, she showed up to my graduation.
She was a nice lady, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that's my thing. Is like, imagine, dude. She took work off, and imagine, she's the director of the hotel, but anything I needed, she allowed me to go to school, so she made an adjustment for my schedule. She made my own schedule, essentially. She allowed me to have weekends off because at the time I was doing wedding videography, and I was doing school, and I was doing that, but she interviewed me. I got there, got that job, and she's like, yeah, I only have part-time right now. I was like, that's fine. Whatever you give me, right? It just happened to be that I picked up that job. It was part-time originally. One of the guys got hurt, and then I got essentially his shift swing, right? I thought I was making money at the other casino when I was on the swing shifts, but I was going home with like $250 to $350 a night at Santa Fe. And you do that times 5, dude. I was making like $6,000 to $8,000 a month. Crazy money. Then the guy came back, but luckily I still had Chevy, so it's like I was able to kind of like get out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And then the guy got fired. One of the guys got fired on graveyard, so it moved me up to like part-time where I was guaranteed 30 hours a week. And then I left Chevy.
So he still had
when you guys
income.
were working at Chevy, that's when I had just met you guys, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's when he
beginning.
just met us. Yeah.
Who's the one who then fucking tightened some bolts on the tire?
Dude, so this fucking guy.
Hold on. We were all on a team together, right?
So there's always 2 guys per stall.
There's always two
There's
guys.
always 2 guys per stall.
So what happened was, it was me and I forgot who else it was. I was on oil change, right? We had somebody who did oil change and filters. The other one did tire rotations and 32-point inspection or something like that. And it was cold. I remember that. It was what month was that?
It was like January.
It was like January, right? So it's cold outside. Our bay doors are open and stuff. And so I picked oil because the guy was newer. I picked oil. The reason why is because we put gloves on, like the rubber gloves, but they'd get up to like here. So when you take the pin out of the oil, all the oil would fall out. But of course, these cars drove here. So all that oil's hot.
It's hot, yeah.
So, dude, I dip my hands in. They come out like chocolate, like fingers, But like, I dip my hands in with the gloves. It was so warm, bro.
So warm.
So, like, if I could put it on my face, I would. But that one is nasty, and then 2, I might get in trouble. So, but what happens, right? So, normal day, he called out. You called out that day.
Yeah.
I ended up working with his partner. My partner was Eddie. Great dude, showed me everything, right? I don't know where he's at now. I don't know what happened to him, but
Hey, so then he must have got confused because when you were working with this guy, did you do tires or did you do
No,
oil?
I always did oil too. I always did all
I
fluids.
try to do fluids.
I knew how to do tires.
We all do. We all
knew how to do it, but you would kind of like, you guys would come in an agreement of like, all right, like, hey, today I'm gonna do oil. You stay on tires
the whole day. So that way nothing gets confused, right? So that way nobody misses anything or anything. You'd be like, hey, you know what? I'm doing oil, the oil change, and the filters, right? The cabin
or any
filter,
other fluids. That you need.
or the top off on window or
Window
coolant,
cleaner.
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you do tires and you do the paperwork because tires do you and just swap them out, put them all on
to air pressure, and then you do paperwork. That was like how it was.
Yeah, and keep this in mind. I was at the time in backgrounds for the job I have now. And like, you can't get in trouble for anything. You can't get fired. You can't get a citation. You can't get nothing, dude. And so I'm thinking it's a normal day, right? I go to lunch, right? I'm sitting there chomping down, like, I think it was like 5 Guys or something, dude. I'm sitting there eating, right? And my manager calls me. He's like, get your ass back to the dealership now. All right? And I was like, damn, what the fuck happened, bro? And I'm like sitting there, my heart's pounding around, coming over the bridge. I could feel this. And I'm like looking to see if maybe something happened, like the fucking place is on fire or something. I drive back in and on a tow truck is a Chevy Traverse. Whole right side of it crashed. Right? I'm like, no fucking way.
Why,
First-
you remember working on it?
Yeah, I remember working. It was the last car before lunch. It was the last car before lunch. And then I finally get around to the front of it. There's a tire missing, bro. There's a tire missing. I'm like, maybe it popped. Maybe we just didn't see a nail or something. Come to find out, we go into the manager's office. Tell me when he has all 5 lug nuts. The fucking.
You didn't put one? You didn't put
It wasn't me. It was all five lug nuts. He had all 5 lug nuts.
They couldn't have gotten far then, right?
They got on the freeway and then just it. They got on the freeway without lug nuts.
And I remember him
Oh my
calling me.
God.
He's like, bro. He's like, I did a service change and the tire fell off. And dude, at Chevy,
Chevy policy was like any
if the
damage.
tire falls off,
Yeah,
you are
automatic.
automatically terminated.
The whole team, whoever's name was on that ticket was gone.
But how did they figure out whose fault it was or whatever?
They have no cameras, so per policy the whole team's gone. Right, so me.
Hey,
and
but
him-
no one wanted to like say like, oh,
He
the
didn't
other
want
guy
to. He didn't. I told him like, hey, look, I did the oil, whatever, and he wasn't admitting to it. He didn't want to lose his job. He just got hired. Right, but I had more to lose at that time. Sure enough, bro, like I had to call my background detective. My background detective was like, look, man, he's like, I'm gonna see what I could do. He even went down there. My background detective showed up to Chevy. Chevy gave them their letter of recommendation to me. Right in front of me, they handed the letter of recommendation from the owner of the shop and my manager, and including the service manager. And so they told him like it's not his fault. We believe that it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Right? He's on the ticket and everything else electronically. He's the one that went to go get the oil. We have him on camera getting the oil, so it was him doing that. But the other guy's not admitting to it. So meaning like we don't know who to blame, so we're blaming both, right? And the other guy didn't know him like that. He was like, you just trained him. You just trained him like, yeah,
It was like maybe like 2 weeks, bro.
yeah, like
Just
2 weeks. Just
And so yeah, bro, I was terminated, and then
But how can you forget to do that? Like,
dude,
it's because
if all you're doing is
it's
tires,
because it's muscle memory and we have music playing and stuff. You forget, bro. Like you think you did something, right? You do it so repetitive. You think you did
it's
something.
crazy because the other
but
wheels
where'd
are
you put
tight.
those bolts? Like, I mean, those lug nuts. Like,
I don't know where they found him at because once I got down to the
No,
oil
what he
change,
probably did was he just spun them on there
and probably didn't find him.
and didn't tighten them down. That's what ended up happening because the rest of the car was fine.
Yeah,
the rest of the tires were good. But and then so the next day they fire Raymond, they fire that other dude.
Yeah.
The next day,
hey, what if they do with those people? They gave them a new car.
They worked it out. They worked it out where they didn't get sued or anything. They gave him a new car. They gave him like free service for the next 5 years on that car. So essentially, it's almost the life of the car, like free services on everything.
yeah. The next day, I walk in. Brian was our manager.
And he was a good manager. Too.
Such a solid dude. Like probably one of the best managers ever.
He's the one that hired us. He's the one that did the double.
And so
R.
he's like, "Hey, Steven, come back." He was like, "Come to my office real quick." And I'm like, "Fuck, like, bro, I'm next now. Like, you know, like they're gonna hack me out of this." I go in his office and I sit down and he's like, "Look, man. Obviously, it's whatever happened yesterday. It is what it is. But I need to know. Trust me. I didn't want to fire your brother, but per policy we have to because now this couple is coming after us, so we have to show some type of action." He's like, "But I need to know, are you okay still working here? Like, if you want to quit and you want to leave because we fired your brother and you feel some type of way, you can leave. Like, I won't take it anyway. Like, I totally understand, whatever." And I was like, "Look, man, like, it is what it is, but I'm good." Like, because at the time, bro, it was so hard for me to even get a job. But I ended up liking becoming a mechanic because I started learning more and, like, doing so many more different jobs that I ended up just staying there. The only thing is like, we were 15 flat rate.
Yeah.
So we weren't making like nothing. Like even if we sold like warranty stuff, like oh you need new tires, you need this and that, new battery, whatever the case is. If we recommended it on the thing, quick thing. Ask somebody first when you get a service at any dealership if you truthfully need to get a second opinion because these guys working on this side of it.
Yeah.
We would recommend stuff because they would want us to recommend stuff to get the money for it. So before you accept anything, get a second
Now,
opinion.
don't get me wrong. If you know there's some wear and
Like,
tear in there,
dude,
like,
if your tires are bald and they're race car ready,
Yeah.
switch them.
yeah,
But if they're like, hey, it's a little bit of wear and tear on this side, you're going to have to replace all four. And some people will do it. Bro, I used to recommend Corvette tires that were like $2,000, and people would buy it. Not because I wanted to though, because I could look at tires.
Because he needed that hot and spicy.
Well, I needed that hot and spicy. No,
He's gonna go resell them. He's like, let's
go
go.
sell half-used tires. No, but like, I was like, look, no, I'm good. Like, you know what, we're okay, and I continued there, but I couldn't get another job, and so I just thugged it out. But at the same time, I really liked the job because of how much I learned, and the crew that we worked with was
the crew,
amazing, dude.
the crew.
There was 5 teams.
Yeah.
The crew was amazing because we all rocked together.
Yeah.
We were all
Every
literally
day.
the same age group,
Yeah.
and we were all like just a bunch of teenagers in these garages, and the team made the whole thing.
Yeah.
These dudes were idiots though, like idiots.
Everybody got a name. Like there was who was it? J Strip.
There was a guy named J Strip. He literally stripped every fucking nut. So we called him
Everything.
J Strip.
That's what they call him.
We called him a
Sharpie.
guy named Sharpie because he looked like he sniffed Sharpies, and was just dude. He hit 3 cars in 1 week. He crashed 3 customers'
He didn't
cars
get
in
fired?
1 week.
No, not
No.
fired.
He didn't get fired, bro, and he like full blown slamming the walls. But it wasn't total. But he would give him a nice new paint job on the side, bro. There was Sharpie. There was Little Daniel. He was a shorter guy, and Big Daniel. And then there was an old man there, bro, that they used to call him the Animal Rat.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he kind of looked like.
And then they called it. There's this big.
Big dude. The dude was like 6'8"
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yeah.
We were calling his name was Juan, but everyone's like Raul. My name is Raul.
But there was one guy there that he just left. They called him the Bulge, right? The reason why.
Why he had a fat sack on him or what?
So the reason why it's because he was a Hispanic guy, about maybe like 5'10", but a little heavier set, right? Like about maybe our kind of size, a little bit bigger on the
No,
bigger
he's a
side.
little shorter, but they called him the
Bulge because on his workbench, right, on his toolbox and stuff, like because we have these massive tool carts, and you can buy yours on your own.
You can buy yours on your own, bro, but they would charge you like $300 a week.
Yeah, it was stupid expensive.
Yeah, bro.
Like Macco or what
Mac
is it?
Tool
Mac
and
Tool.
like Snap-on.
But what's the
Snap-on?
benefit of having your own tools?
It's because dude,
Because they would require you to
yeah,
have
they
your
would
own
require you to have your own tool. So when we were down bad, me and Steve showed up with whatever my mom had. Let's do it.
Bro, whatever was in the
No
garage.
way.
Yeah,
Showed up
whatever was
with
in the
whatever
garage, we showed up. We bought a little toolbox, right, from like the pawn shop.
That's why that tire fell off. He didn't have a tool for it.
But the Bulge got his name because he fell one time. He tripped on oil, and he hit his toolbox, right?
But bro, he like face planted against his toolbox.
But the only print that was left was his dick print on the toolbox.
No
Right there. So he's trying to wipe it off, but because it's oil, it was oil on that. It was oil on like the print that he left. It literally looked like the Bulge, like his Bulge.
Yeah.
So they called him the Bulge for the rest of the time he was there, bro.
He just left a stamp on there or what?
Literally, his thing was black, but that one oil
It
spot.
just fat oil spot right
There was a fat oil spot, but it was like in the shape of a dick. So they called him the Bulge,
bro.
They
It
called
was a
him the
good
Bulge.
time, man. It was a good time. Like, but so after that, you know, I was still suffering until I finally went to go work in the casino industry. But I was down bad, bro. Like I used to have to literally just pray and hope cars came in, couple whether it was dimes or quarters, bro.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And then finally, I moved out to security at the casino industry, and I got out of that whole thing, and it was definitely a hard lesson learned with financials, but I was okay afterward. Did you have anything like anything similar to that?
I was actually thinking about it. In 8th grade, I used to go to this middle school, Lawfer, and it was far as heck from where I live. So I used to like carpool with some girl who went to the same school I went to and kind of lived in the same area as me. And I remember every day after school, her mom used to stop at Burger King, right? And because she would pick us up from school and then she would drop us off at a place where you like kind of stay for a little bit, like I don't know, it's called Cherry Avenue. I'm trying to think about what it is, but it would drop us off there like an after school program.
Like
Yeah,
Safe
that's what
Key
it-
or something like that.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like an after school program. You'll drop us off. We could stay there till 6, and then my mom will go pick me up from there.
Yeah.
But I remember every day after school, she would stop at Burger King, and then they would be like ordering. And I was obviously hungry or whatever, but I didn't have no money. So it was awkward. She'd be like, "Oh, are you hungry?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm not hungry. I don't want nothing, you know." But
The old
low-key-
I'm broke as shit.
yeah,
I don't want to
low
say
key,
it.
I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, don't worry. I'm just gonna get you the same thing I'm getting her, right?" So I remember like I told my dad, I'm like, "Hey, Dad, I need money for school, you know." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna give you $5." I was like, Dad, the burger's like 99 cents, and after taxes comes out to like $1.07. Figure it out.
So he would only give you 5, like what? Like,
For the week.
so these two.
So you were on $1 a
Yeah,
day?
so it was $1 a day. But
And the burger was
but the
$1
dollar was like
$2.
$1.07, you know what I mean?
So you couldn't eat for one day.
Nah, so what that led me to do, I was like, man, how the heck do I make money? Because, you know, I'm tired of not having money and asking my parents for money or whatever. So my neighbor across the street, I still remember his name, Tom. I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ask if I can clean his yard. And, you know. So the interesting thing about his front yard is he has like that gravel, you know, those little rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll have a bunch of weeds. So if you've ever tried cleaning the weeds and the gravel, you can't use a tool
No, you
because
can't.
the rocks
You
are in the
have
way.
to, yeah.
So you have
Yeah,
to pick that
you had
shit
to
by
pull
hand,
out
bro.
by
I
hand.
had to pull by hand, yeah.
So
Pull
tell me
roots.
why his freaking yard was like huge. Like in Arizona, the yards are huge, right? So I was out there. I used to put like a little sombrero, long sleeve
Following
shirt.
his dad's footsteps.
Hey, I would be sitting like this on the floor, and I'll just be picking weeds like that. Bro, it would take me like an hour to do like a small section like that. He would pay me a bunch of money. Like I remember I was charging like I think it was 150 just to do his front yard. But man, that was like slavery. I felt like I was picking cotton. I was just boom all day, bro.
You still got the tan
and my
from it,
fingers,
bro.
hey, my fingers would be all cut up
Yeah.
from pulling the weeds and stuff. But yeah, that was probably my brokest moment. But
And it's tough 'cause you
shout
don't
out
wanna
to
ask for
Miranda
money.
though, because I don't know, like it's interesting when you remember people who help you out in your brokest moments.
yeah,
Like you always
absolutely.
remember them, you know.
Yeah, always remember.
So I
Absolutely.
remember, I think it was her grandma who used to pick us up. I'm not sure if it was her mom or her grandma used to pick us up, but she used to buy me food every day, and I literally till this day I feel like indebted to her. You know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah,
like, man,
yeah,
if I ever
because-
see that lady, I'm gonna hook her
There
up. Or
are
something.
some people that look out for you. So the Tarkanians.
The Tarkanians.
The
yeah.
Tarkanian, if you've heard that name out here.
Yeah, yeah,
maybe.
the
So-
basketball-
So we used to play ball. We used to play ball with their son. We used to go to school with him.
Yeah. And it was at Northwest, so
It
it
was
was
at
like
Northwest.
a 30-minute drive from us, bro.
Bro.
And we're still broke, right? We're still two kids. We kind of felt out of place, man, because most of those kids came from like a good family. We're first gen, right? We're trying to figure it out. We lived in the hood, like. So luckily though, we played basketball. We played basketball with the kid. Jared Arcanian's obviously
Jared
the
Tarkanian
famous
is a
coach.
famous guy from coach from
From
UNLV.
UNLV, but
Yeah.
we were playing under his son, George Tarkanian.
Tarkanian. And
George
then-
Tarkanian, and he was the son. He was the first son of Jerry, and he was teaching varsity at
Bonanza
High School, where
Yeah.
we played at. And so when we went to school with his kid, we were really good friends with him, and we would go. George Tarkanian would come and pick us up from high school,
And if not, the wife would.
and then the wife was so nice.
The wife was amazing.
And we
man.
would, we get picked up, and she's like, "Are you guys hungry?" Blah blah blah. We're like, "Yeah, but we're okay." Like, We
Same
didn't have
situation
anything.
because they'd go to Cafe Rio.
They go to Cafe Rio, all these other
and stuff,
spots.
and we didn't have it like that, right? We had enough for the the high school chicken sandwich with the cheese.
Yeah.
That's what we.
That's
get.
what we had.
That's what we'd get.
So my mom would give us.
I think 20. I think it was $20 each for the week.
For the
It was
week,
fi-
$20
So it's
each
$5
for
bucks. $5 a day. But the problem is, right? Like we eat at lunch.
You get a Gatorade, the spicy thing, and that was like $4 something.
and then the cookie for the $1,
Yeah.
right? And that's what we'd eat. But Mrs. Tarkanian, dude,
Should be like, no, get whatever you guys want.
she'd
Like,
pick us up, right? She'd pick us up.
and we'd feel guilty. Like,
Yeah, I felt
bad.
so like there would be times where we'd go hungry to practice, bro. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And she'd pick us up, and and a funny story about that, but she'd pick us up, take us to basketball practice, and she'd feed us before basketball practice. We'd be there doing our homework beforehand and stuff. His name was Alex Tarkanian. He
Alex.
plays for Utah. He went to Utah University. I don't know where he's
No,
at
he
now.
went to Colorado.
Was
As
it
a
Colorado?
D1. As
The
a
D1,
shooter.
yeah. D1. He could shoot, dude. That dude could shoot. But what happens? Basketball season ends, right?
Yeah.
We weren't zoned for the school buses. So what would happen is me and Steven had to take the public bus home.
Dude, a
Right.
city bus for like 3 hours.
3 hours, bro.
3 hours every day to go
Every
home.
day to go home. And my mom would go drop us off. And I remember my mom, like, at a certain point started crying because this is a magnet school. So magnet school is an accelerated school out here, meaning, like, it's strictly for
And you had to
academics. You have to
test.
apply, test.
You had to
everything.
apply
Yeah, it's like a
and test to get into it. And we
Yeah.
got into it.
And so, yeah, dude, we started taking the public bus home. And it was tough. The bus driver remembered who we were every time. He's like, how you doing, boys, and this and that. He'd let us sit up front. Like, he wouldn't let anybody mess with us and stuff. And he was so nice. And one time I remember, like, we got on the bus and I forgot my phone. Whenever we were like a mile down. And he was nice enough to print me a day pass. I got off to just sprint it as hard as I could. Because at the time, again, my mom's not going to replace the phone because I lost it. Right? She already doesn't have the money for it. So I'm sprinting as hard as I can down
remember
Rancho.
that.
And I'm like, dude, I'll just see you at home, right? And like, there somehow, some way, my phone blended in underneath the rail. Like the rail was like this, and it was there. It was there. Nobody stole it. I got on the bus, went home. But what happened, right? We're at a basketball season where I had to take the bus home every day, right? And that's just how it was. And it sucked. Because, dude, we get out at 2 o'clock. We wouldn't get home till almost 6 p.m. Because after we got off the bus, we still had to walk.
Yeah.
And then we ended up being like little manipulators with the bus lady because we found out what bus goes to
There
our
was a
area.
school bus that went to our area.
Went to our area, but our address wasn't in that area. But we were still a block away. We're like, dude, we could get dropped off there and walk. But it was already kind of halfway through the year, so we're like, dude, like we tried applying for the bus. They're like, no. But of course, the bus drivers didn't have a list of like, what's your name? What's your name? No, it's right. So people just got on. So
I remember the first day we got on. She's like, I've never seen y'all before.
We're like, oh, we had
We
football.
were always in football, basketball.
Basketball, so you never see us. We're not in sports anymore.
Yeah.
And that's how we did it. We lied to the bus lady.
And she saw us every day after that, and we were able to go home.
Hey, quick question. So, do you think being limited on food when you're younger has affected you as an adult?
Dude, I eat like a king now.
That's
I
crazy.
appetizers,
Food, everything.
steaks,
It's just we
everything.
never were able to order that stuff.
Yeah, and that's crazy because
Yeah.
like with my family, I remember like we never didn't have food. Like there was always food. Like we would
Yeah.
eat. But I remember like order this or like split this with your brother or it was all so limited. So
We
I
always went
remember
to the $5
I remember when I got my
buffet.
first job, like anytime I went to a restaurant, my girl's like, oh, you want to share this? I'm like, nah, get your own thing, Like I became like really like, oh, I'm gonna order whatever the heck I want. I'm gonna get the
Yeah.
appetizer. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get this.
Yeah.
So maybe that even caused me to like my eat like overeating and like eating in excess.
Because we couldn't
Because I was
afford
like, man, I had that void from when I was younger.
Yeah, yep.
I don't like feeling like I can't order something. So now when I go somewhere, I
Yeah,
just,
dude,
like,
we
order
know.
whatever I want.
That's how I am. Like, I'll order 2 appetizers. I'll order her food, me food, drinks, all that included. And that's another thing. You know what? I don't want to say like I made it moment, but when I finally got my Costco membership, I walked down every aisle, right? And this is when I started the academy. I walked down every aisle, and what I realized was, I've never had it like this, right? And I was able to just pull whatever off the shelf because I had it now, right? But back then, we never went grocery
You had to
shopping.
pick and choose.
We had to pick and choose.
yeah.
what you want.
Like
And-
compromise, either you get this or you get
Right,
this.
and
yeah.
dude, it was one of those things. I think I spent 3 hours in Costco, right? But that's because I was looking at everything. Even though I wasn't going to get it, I just wanted to see what they had, right? And I knew in my head, like, I could afford this now.
Yeah, because you had the option to buy
Yeah.
it if you wanted to.
And that's my thing. I was like, damn, like, this is what grocery shopping is like when you have it. But when we didn't, dude, like, what was cheaper to us was to go to McDonald's, get a
Or go to
hot
Little
spicy.
Caesars.
Little Caesars pizza.
It's a $5
smack.
pizza.
Yeah, but
And that was
you go to McDonald's and get the $1 thing because why the $1 hot and spicy from McDonald's was a lot cheaper than going to the grocery store and getting groceries,
Yep.
right? And that's how it was. So you start having money now and stuff, and it's like, don't get me wrong, live within your means for sure, right? But man, that was a different thing, dude. You're right. Like I go out to restaurants now, dude. And I'm like, what appetizers and this and that. I remember in what happened on homecoming or the prom.
oh my god.
So we had again a prom. My mom gave us certain money. We were working on jobs.
Bro, my mom didn't have money. She still gave us money.
Yeah.
She gave me and Raymond each $150.
Yeah.
Tell me why we go to the restaurant.
You spend more than that.
I lost the $150. I don't even know how.
I don't remember how he walked up to me. Right, we're in the line at Cheesecake. He's like,
And he had his date. I had my date.
yeah. He's like, I lost my money.
Bro.
So what ended up? How did we do that, anyways?
No, I think I was about to get paid direct deposit from McDonald's at the time. So I told Raymond, I was like, all right, look, let's just try to stall a little bit, because I knew I got paid at 8. I was like at 6. I got paid
Yeah,
at 6.
we were all
every day.
in the line. It was a group of like 14,
And they
16
told us
of us.
like, oh, there's gonna be an hour wait.
So
Cool. It was
what's
like 5. Cool. So I was already panicking, but then I remembered, oh shit, I get paid in an hour.
But it hits right at
It
8.
hit right at, it hit like at 7 or 8. So we didn't get seated until almost 7, and then we didn't finish eating until 8. So I would check
But
my
I remember
account.
like,
I would check my account discreetly. I'm like, fuck, I still haven't got paid. I haven't got
Yeah,
paid.
it's a hit.
yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Nowadays, like, we used to check our accounts all the time. Like, as I'm in line at the cashier, I'm like, damn. And I look at it, all right, I still got it. I still have $20. I can cover this. And that's a shitty feeling of having to open
No, it is. Yeah.
your bank account
Yeah.
at the cashier line to see like, do I have
Can
it
you
or
even
not?
afford it?
Right, and it's happened, bro. It's we've all been in those positions, dude.
Yeah.
But we learn from it, right? Like, think about it. We're all first gen too.
I think so. What also you gotta think about is like the bad moments help you appreciate the good ones,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like when I've shared my story about like the food situation, now that I'm an adult, I order all these
Yeah.
crazy things, eat a bunch of candies, have a bunch of snacks. Like the people who I know who grew up with that, like food is just food, you know. Like there's nothing
To them.
special about food,
To
you
them,
know.
to
Like,
them.
Yeah.
but it's crazy how you kind of put that like association like with like you said to your point, like, oh, I made it because I'm able to buy these things.
Yeah.
That's kind of like unique if you think about it, and that's only like an attribute you have if you did have it like kind of bad growing up. Because think about a regular person, like, oh, that's just normal, you know. We used to
normal.
always go to Costco and get whatever we want. I used to always go to, you know, the restaurant, order whatever I want. But I think those bad moments help you appreciate the good ones, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're able to reflect, I'm like, man, I remember back in the day I wasn't able to order this. I wasn't able to do X, Y, and Z. So it helps you appreciate it a
No,
lot
it
more,
does,
you know.
dude. And like, you know, like shout out to mom, man. Like I don't know how she did it. We're twins, dude. We're big dudes.
Yeah,
We ate a lot, man. We ate so much. Like she'd come home with bags of groceries and go upstairs, take a nap, and come back, and all of it's gone. We'd eat like crazy, dude.
We're starving.
Yeah, we're starving. We're starving, and we didn't know how to make things last. So like, of course, we were starving at the beginning of the week and starving at the end of the week. But you don't realize what a dollar is or the struggle is until you're actually through it, right?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, we had mom, but she wasn't a safety net, and that's what she taught us. Like, hey, I'm doing enough to be able to keep a roof over your guys' head. Please help me out when you guys can. And and you know, it's like you're right. You appreciate that stuff, and that's one thing, right? Like, mom came here from Honduras. She made the sacrifices that she did to be able to get us here, give us a better life. I have a sister in Honduras still, and you obviously know this, and we've been waiting years for her papers to come in. But imagine she's a teacher down there earning $200 a month. That doesn't last for anything, right?
Yeah.
$200 is like electricity bills and a little bit of food. So we're always sending her money and stuff. So she hasn't had that animated moment, but she's gonna have to come through that, right? And she's what, 35?
Yeah.
35 years old, right? And imagine 35 and you're still going through it.
You're still struggling, yeah.
Still going through it, right? And I mean, that's the thing is like, mom, you know, we didn't sacrifice that opportunity. And don't get me wrong, like in my job, I've ran into people that have came here on asylum, work permits, residencies, green cards, and thrown that away, right? And I think those arrests is what makes me the most mad. It's like, I'm Hispanic. I went through that struggle. I'm first generation. You came over here. The amount of people willing to die to come over here, and you're throwing it away from stealing at stores or doing something stupid like that. I mean, we could talk about this later on, you know, but we all go through a certain struggle, and we appreciate
Let me ask
those
you something
moments.
about your sister, because I kind of feel this type of way about my family sometimes. Like, do you ever feel guilty that you live such a good life knowing that your sister's struggling?
It's hard. Like just recently, I went to Seattle and stuff, right? And they all liked my photo. They all liked my story, right? But what trips are they taking,
Yeah.
right? There's a certain guilt in it that, damn, like my family can't experience this. Now, don't get me wrong. Me and Steven, like usually, like we always take vacations together. Him and I are dating people right now. Like, you know, he'll go with his girl when it's convenient for them. I'll go with my girl when it's convenient for me and stuff. And the thing about it is, like, before we take all the trips together, but I would never think about that. Like, hey, I'm posting this on social media knowing my entire family is watching this. And 90% of my family in Honduras lives in poverty, right? But the problem is I can't send everything. And that's
Yeah.
another thing, too. Like, you want to, don't get me wrong, we've taken them to the islands multiple times. We've paid the entire vacations and this and that. And understand this, that in Honduras, for them to go to the island of Roatan, think about it, they get paid about $200, $300 a month, okay? For them to go to Honduras, how much are we spending? About $6,000?
Yeah.
About $6K. There's no way they're making up $6,000 and still making what they need for necessities. But what I will tell you is, one thing, if you notice, if you go to like those Southern American countries, even any other country in the world, sometimes, and this is rare occasions, but sometimes those are the happiest people in the world and they don't have everything.
Yeah,
'Cause they're
because
happy
it's
with
the
what they got.
expectation. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more appreciative of the little things, you know, like
Right.
just the being able to eat
Mhm.
and, you know. having a roof over their head.
And yeah, man, but yeah, there's definitely some guilt in it. There's guilt in it, but I think what it is that me knowing that they're coming, they should be here anytime now. Like, technically, the end of the process is January 2025, so
Yeah.
a few months, right? They're gonna be able to experience everything as well. There's gonna be an adjustment to life and everything, but yeah, these last few years, yeah, there's a little bit of a guilt, right? But I mean, what could we do? There's only so much we can do, right? Like, it's kind of like, are you gonna hold yourself back from having those experiences because
Yeah,
of
you
how your
can't, you
family
can't.
dynamic is? You can't.
But you
right?
do think about it, you know what I mean? It is behind your head sometimes. You think about, like, like you said, the fact that you know that you're posting that on your story,
Mm-hmm.
all your family's watching, and you know that they're not able to experience something like that. And that's what's hard, because it's hard enough just to make it for yourself, yet alone to try to save other people. You know, whether
Yeah.
that's your family or the people around you.
And you have to be
can't, you know?
selfish essentially,
You
because
do got to
you
be
put
selfish.
yourself in this position.
Right.
But at the same time, like, it does suck because it's like your other family members can experience it, but you can't help everyone.
Because we got an opportunity. We're not going to waste
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Right. We don't get to do life all over again. So it's like, we're not going to waste, like, hey, you know what? Like, I put myself in this position due to the sacrifices that I made, right? We all made some kind of sacrifice to get
Yeah.
where we are, right? Some of us went to college, ended up with $40,000-$50,000 of debt, but now we're coming out of the end of it, right? I got my ass kicked for 6 months in an academy. Shit sucked, right? One of the hardest experiences of my life, but I came out of it. Right? I'm earning a lot more money. My benefits are good. I have a good job. It's exciting. I'm learning so much more, right? I'm getting a different perspective on life. Me coming from humble, broke experiences, single parent home, and living in rough areas, like, I get to kind of relate to these people. Cause I'm like, I get what you're going through. I've been through it too, right? Because there are some of my coworkers who grew
Okay,
up
so let me
silver-
ask you a question
yeah.
really quick. So, because this is what I've reflected on, right? So, what separates, like, when you think about people who are in poverty and that kind of cycle of living, what separates the people who get out of it, and what makes the people stay in it? Like, how are you able to get out of it? Like,
It's that's something within, man. Like,
You
that-
want better for yourself.
yeah, you want better for yourself.
and that's exactly what I was gonna say too. I think, like, a lot of times you can analyze the situation you're in, and you gotta tell yourself, okay, I'm fucking up or something's not right. I have to change a behavior, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like, what I've noticed is that every time I've been in a bad situation, I've learned and grown from it, and that's helped me get to the next level.
Yep.
So little by little, I've been able to get out of it. But there's some people who
They're okay
display the
staying
same behavior,
Yeah, they stay there.
and then they keep on doing
Well,
the
that's
same
thing is
behavior
that's
over
the
and
thing,
over, expecting to get a
they
different
become
result.
comfortable.
Yeah,
They
or
get comfortable, and then they're like, all right, you know what? And guess what? Yeah, you can be comfortable. Let's just say they made it to a certain spot in their life, and they're like, you know what? I'm good. But then life changes, but they don't,
They don't change it.
right? So life changes. You know, in science, we learned a phrase called MAD, right? Move, adapt, or die,
Yeah.
right? And that's the thing. Is like, yeah, you can move to adapt, but if you stay there, you're gonna end up dying, right? And that was the whole thing as far as like species and you know, evolution and that kind of thing. But you think about it, life is not getting cheaper
Yeah.
in no aspect, right? So it's like, at some point, if you're not getting a raise, you're not getting a promotion, you're not getting any kind of step up in your pay, while life is stepping up its increases on what everything costs,
Yeah, you're moving a step back.
you're taking a step back, and you're stuck. And then these people that were once comfortable and okay with their life and living, right? We were all there, right? We thought, oh, $15 an hour is gold. I give them that $800 check. I'm like, where am I going? The bank is paying all my bills, and I got $100 left over. Now where am I going? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, but what happens? You have to increase your value somehow, right? And you have to do that, because the problem is life is not getting. Houses are expensive, right? Like, I'm trying to save for a house right now. Like, I'm doing so much overtime. Like, I got off at 5 a.m. yesterday, and I came over at 10 a.m. I'm exhausted, but I got overtime again till 5 a.m. I go from 2 p.m. to midnight, and then 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm tired, yeah. But I guess I'm trying to buy a house at the end of the year too, right? The election might change some stuff, and I'm kind of hoping it sways in the favor for first-time home buyers so that I could buy a house at the end of the year. But imagine, even what I make with my career, that's still a very thin line. I'm like, if I buy a house, I'm not going to be choked, right? Because how much the expenses are, because mortgages right now are like $2,500 to $2,900 on
That's
like
like a
35,
medium
and that's a
average.
medium average. And I'm like, okay, right. And then all the other expenses, and you're a homeowner, so you have more experience with that. So I will probably come to you for that. Like, hey, dude, like, you've bought 2 houses. Like, what do you recommend? Like, what are your average costs? I mean, the house you're in now is obviously matching what your career and lifestyle was, because you had a different career before this, right? A different job. I mean, it's kind of the same career, kind of sales industry and that kind of stuff, but you had a different job, right? But I'm in that step of your life right now.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, again, we didn't grow up without a dad. We didn't grow up with a father figure. My mom didn't know a whole bunch of finances. That's another problem that we got. That
The financial literacy.
yeah, dude, we had to teach ourselves, dude. I remember when I got my first credit card at 18, I maxed that thing out. I thought I was good, right? I'm like, I'll pay this off when I get paid. That never happened,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And that's the thing. It's like we had to teach ourselves how to be financially responsible, because if we had $5, we could spend $5.
Yeah.
But is that a survival thing or is that a teach thing? I think it's both things, right? We weren't taught how to save money. We weren't taught how to use money. But then also, like, how do you teach someone how to use money when the only money you got to use to survive?
Yeah.
Right. So.
And I think that just comes with experience, because like, if you're used to barely getting enough to survive and you're just spending all of it, what do you do when you have a little extra? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Are you putting that to the side, or are you just continuing to spend it? But yeah, man. So before we leave, the question I want to kind of leave us off with is like, do you think video games is a good distraction for men? And well, this is what I would say. Like, a lot of times, you know, you go to your job, you have your extra time after, and as a man, you can go to the gym and or kind of get like distracted in these other things of entertainment. So I've always felt like playing video games keeps me from making like stupid decisions, or like
or popping blood vessels.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So the way I look at video games is, video games not another world to us, right? A world of exploration and this and that. It keeps us distracted, but we're not doing anything wrong, right?
We stay at home, ladies. We
Right,
stay
ladies,
at home.
video games keeps us at home. That's where y'all want us. That's where our moms want us. That's where y'all want us, and that's okay. But let us play the video game, right? Don't get mad at us because we're on there for a certain amount of extra time, right? Men go through stress. We go through it, right?
Honestly,
What's our outlet? Screaming at the TV while we're playing video
Win
games
or
with our
lose?
boys. Win or lose,
I'm happy after.
we're
Yeah,
good,
for sure.
right? Don't be wrong. You know, when you win, it's some like euphoric like release. We're all so proud of each other. Like we just competed.
Hey, but you know what's
Olympic
pretty
games.
crazy? Like, even though you win, it only lasts for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. They're like, one more. All right, one more.
But that's the thing, right? Like, still, when we win, we feel like the Olympic team with just won gold.
Yeah.
We're clapping and everything, and it's like we're the only audience is us. Makes
When we're
sense?
losing, it's every cuss word in the book.
But the whole thing of it is, video games is an outlet, right? We've been playing since we were 7. Don't get me wrong, has it evolved? Yeah, you know, from
It's
when we
like
were
20
kids.
years.
20 years of playing.
bro.
20 years.
And it's our thing. It's our thing. It is what it is. Don't get me wrong. We'll go out. We'll go shoot guns. We'll go to the gym. We'll go traveling. We'll go do all that stuff. But on a daily basis, when we come home, we're tired or we're stressed, it's an outlet.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, pouring up, especially when we have game nights here, pouring up a drink and being able to, like, play video games, win or lose,
Yeah.
screaming at the TV, communicating with each other and talking and stuff and laughing about
And I
certain
think
things.
any age group, any guy
Yeah.
or girl that plays, anyone can
Any
relate
age
to
group.
it.
It could be 10
Because
years old
you
or
can
40.
tell that once you're on the game, whether you're a kid, whether you're a teenager or now, or how we are in our almost our 30s, you can literally tell, like, it's the same thing for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I noticed too? Like, let's say you're stressed after work and then you go to a restaurant. You can be sitting at the restaurant thinking about those things behind
Yeah.
your head, like those stresses that you have.
Absolutely.
Or you can be at the mall thinking about those stresses that you have. But when you're playing the video game,
It shuts
all your
off.
attention's on that,
Yeah.
and you don't think about nothing else
Nothing.
but that.
And you're happy.
So then it is like a mental
Yeah.
break, because you're just doing something that's satisfying to you, and you're blocking out all.
And
the
it,
other
and
shit.
it all depends, right? It doesn't have to be all competitive gaming. It could be a progressive game where,
Yeah.
like me and you like progressive games where like stories and that kind of stuff and like going to do little side quests and stuff. And like, you know, I think seeing the progression of the game is satisfying to us, right? Or like,
Or
let's
getting
just
a
say-
dub.
Or getting a dub, right? Or a new gun comes out, right? And then we're like, oh, that's the meta, right? Meta being like the gun everybody uses, the strongest gun. Getting that unlocked and now you're kicking ass with it. It's satisfying because when you're getting dubs,
Especially when you
going
go
off,
with your boys. When you're online with your guys and you can go win
yeah, and you're killing the lobby.
and you have great games, it is it's the best stress reliever.
Yeah.
It's like a different feeling, like Raymond said. It's a different feeling, and I don't know, man. We've been playing games for over 20 years.
over 20 years. But you know what? It's the best distraction. We could be out doing other things.
I
Right?
could be out doing hoodlum stuff.
Yeah, we could be out hood
I
rats,
could be
right?
doing donuts down there, bro.
We could do whatever, you know? Like, but guess what? Like, this is what we always come back to. No matter what. Video games are the things we always come
They
back
will
to.
be there no
Yeah.
matter what situation.
And
you're
they
in.
won't argue with you. All right, you're at peace with it. And the thing is, you relate with your boys because the thing is, we don't see each other. Think about it. I haven't seen you in what? Maybe a month, 3 weeks.
Has it been that long?
It's been a while. I don't see you as often as Steven does.
That's true.
But we'll be on the video game, and it feels like nothing, no
Well,
different.
that's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like we're on the video games. It feels like we're all still in the same house. We all got our earpiece. We're all headsets. It almost feels like we're sitting next to each other playing the game, right? And that's how we grew up, right? before they didn't have the connectivity they have now. So we always used to have to do split screen and those kind of things, go over to a friend's house and
The
play. That's,
system link, remember system?
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it feels like now. So it's like, if we're going to be distracted at anything, well, let us be distracted with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if we're not, still, if we're irresponsible, about to be on the brink of being evicted or homeless or something, not paying bills, not taking care of our kids.
Yeah, you always have to take care of all your responsibilities.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
but I mean, that's my thing. If we're on top of our responsibilities like that, let us be distracted on the video games.
Yeah.
That's what it
I
is.
agree.
Right.
I think it's a good one too because, like I said, nothing beats that euphoria of playing it, and then after you get off the game, you're in such a better mood.
Yeah, especially if you get a
won.
dub. Oh,
Yeah.
if you get a dub.
If you won, you're in a better mood.
Yeah,
you
you
can go to
sleep like
sleep.
a-
peace.
It's like 1 a.m. You sleep like a baby.
But you know,
hey, do you ever have like a bunch of bad games and you close your eyes and you're thinking about all your mistakes?
I know. I
Dude,
close my eyes. I'm like,
I get off.
could've been
I'd be in bed. I'm like, fuck. Why would I
Yeah,
do
I could
that?
have been like, dude, I could have been in bed an hour ago.
Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like it's a waste of time.
Like
But then they're like, hey, one more, and that one more always gets you. But then you're
You
like,
do that one more for an hour, and then you don't
realize
win.
like 2 a.m.
And you don't win. You're laying in bed like, damn, dude.
could've just went to
I
bed.
could have went to bed
Like
2
a
hours
loser,
ago. But guess what? Screaming at the TV, talking mess with everybody.
That's all that matters.
Dude, and it's the best distraction. It really is, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're not spending money. We're not wasting our
I
money.
mean, we spend money here and there.
We-
We'll
here
buy
and
a couple
there.
skins. Here.
A couple skins, but
Yeah.
But it's not crazy.
It's a treat to ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
it's
we got
like
this-
$10.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
got this. We got this win, so I'm just gonna buy myself something. New.
Yeah, but it's every now and then. But it's not like we're wasting hundreds of dollars, right? Doing
Yeah.
crazy things.
It's not like we're buying OnlyFans subscriptions. Give me like
Yeah,
buying skins.
we're buying skins for ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and even better, every time we were like on the losing streak, like, no, it's time to change skins.
Yeah, you have to change the skin.
It's the
Change the
skins. But
That's
but
good, though.
it's just, man.
It's such a great
Yeah.
thing that men have, and there's girls that game too now, and
Yeah.
they're becoming big, and they also see
Yeah.
what it's like to get that same euphoria that we do, you know, and so I think it's a good
Yeah,
distraction.
I don't know if
honestly.
your question was orientated towards, as a man, is it a good distraction, or couples, or any of that stuff, but I think if your partner games, understand that there is a level of connection to these video games where it's not unhealthy, and there is unhealthy gaming.
Yeah,
There
there's
really
always
is.
everything
Yeah.
in moderation. Yeah.
Right. But there's a level to it where this is our release, and if you see the headphones on and they're deep in the game, let them.
Yeah,
Let
let 'em
them
be.
Right now, don't get me wrong. If the baby's on the ground crying and they're distracted and
House is
everything
on
else,
fire,
house is
whatever.
on, yeah, right. It's a different
Yeah,
story.
it's different.
But if you're at peace, they're at peace. Everything's taken care of. Let them. Let them. Male, female, child, older person. Right, if they're playing solitaire on the computer or something, and they got music going. Let them.
Yeah.
Like it's a distraction, right? And it's a release. It's a distraction, and I think it should be accepted more often. Especially thinking about it, it's competitive gaming now. People are making millions of dollars.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Right? And before, everybody used to say, "What, you gonna make money playing video games for the rest of your
Fucking
life?"
nerd. Yeah,
and
you
now
fucking
look at it, right? And now look at it. These guys are
Yeah.
millionaires living in Hollywood Hills. But for the average gamer, for the guy that goes home after work, that if he wants to drink a beer while he plays the video game,
It's the most perfect distraction to be able to like
Yeah.
go back to your safe space.
because
and
it is.
just
You put your
hang.
headphones on, and it's like you're in.
And you're like a kid again. That's what it is.
True that.
You know,
true
so
Cause
I think we're gonna cut it off.
A good first
Yeah, I
podcast.
think we're gonna cut it
In the
at
theme
that.
of food, I'm hungry.
And, we're gonna cut it off. Thank you guys for watching.
appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Subscribe.
thank you
Obviously, we're trying to see what we come out of this, but I think we'll continue bringing you guys more good content. If you like us, subscribe and follow. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead, leave them down there. But we would like to appreciate you guys and thank you guys for watching our very first podcast.
Thank you,
It was a lot longer than I thought,
was
but
an hour-
you know
what
what?
was it, like
When
hour 20?
conversations go, you just go.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. Thank you. On to the next one.
All right. Thank you.
It's a 15-minute drive to work. So if I leave for a thing, I might have to just go get food on my own. Because by the time I get food and everything else, I had to do the station.
That was good though.